Welcome to the League of Women Voters of Snohomish County Forum. We're focusing on candidates who will appear in the 2021 primary election. This forum is for candidates for the City of Mukilteo Council Position 2. I'm your moderator, Karen Crowley. I'm a League member and a member of the Board of Directors. Our candidates for the City of Mukilteo Council Position 2 are Aisha Riaz Khan, Caitlin Ryan, Kevin Stoltz, and Tim Jordahl. The League thanks all the candidates for running for office, for their willingness to serve the community if elected, and for participating in this forum. It's the policy of the League to be nonpartisan. Therefore, we neither endorse nor oppose candidates or parties. We do take positions on issues which we've studied and on which we've come to consensus. Now, ground rules for this forum were sent ahead of time to all the candidates, but let me briefly explain the question and answer rules. The first 3 questions I'll ask have been shared with the candidates. They're designed as an introduction to each candidate's qualifications and strengths. I will pose the questions, and the candidates will have 60 seconds to respond to the question. Our 4th and final question will allow a 90-second answer. We have a timer who is letting the candidates know when they have 15 seconds left and when time has elapsed by holding up a piece that the candidates themselves can see. Time limits on answers will be strictly enforced. When you see the red, your time is up, and I will remind you of that. I'll change the starting order for each question, rotating through all the candidates, and the order was determined to ensure a random and fair sequence. So the order for the first question will be Mr. Jordahl, Ms. Khan, Mr. Stoltz, and Dr. Ryan. So let's begin. And the first question, as I said, will go to Mr. Jordahl, and it is this: what are the major responsibilities of this office, and what skills are needed to perform them well?
Yeah, thanks so much to the League of Women Voters for putting this on. The job of the City Council is really to look out for the interests of the community. And that means maintaining the great aspects of the community that we already have and finding new ways to improve the quality of life for the people that live here. And the City Council, it really does this by supporting initiatives, influencing and approving budgets, and voting on rule changes for the City of Mukilteo. And rule changes are really important because they affect the residential and business development within the community. Also look out for the environment and the public services that are offered. And a really important skill, I would say, for this is the ability to listen and get input from a wide range of people, because I think it's important that the whole community is represented by the council, not just certain segments of the community. And then in listening, you need to boil that down to some key elements and to the most important issues, and then figure out which ones should be addressed and how to address them.
Thank you. Next, we go to Ms. Khan. Same question.
Thank you. A city council is a group of duly elected officials who serve as the legislative body of a city. An effective council member communicates intelligently, articulately, and thoughtfully, respecting the role and function of the public, city staff, and the city executive. A city council member have to be a strategic leader who evolves in defining the strategic issues that must be mastered to achieve the vision. Being a council member requires a tons of responsibility, which means to be addressed skillful and timely manner. Definitely has to be a team player, definitely. While executive goal and working towards vision, being a member, one has to be respectful towards our team members by being a good listener, respecting every thought and belief, and enhance creating a better council.
Thank you. Mr. Stoltz, same question for you. Please come off mute. Thank you.
Sorry about that. Yes, thank you to the League of Women Voters for hosting this forum. Simply put, the council sets policy and approves budget, and this includes passing laws, establishing policies, and conducting public hearings. The council is elected by and represents Mukilteo residents. So from my perspective, the primary responsibility is to the residents who live in Mukilteo. Having served 2 prior terms as a Mukilteo City Council member, there are a number of skills necessary to have an effective council, including being able to collaborate well with others. And also based on my experience, other skills necessary include understanding the city budget and the process involved in adopting the budget, the ability to do your own research on issues brought before the council while understanding both the Mukilteo Municipal Code and the governing state RCWs.
Thank you very much. And Dr. Ryan, to you.
Thank you very much to the League of Women Voters for this opportunity tonight. City Council is really the front lines of democracy. It's the policy and rulemaking body for the city, which includes reviewing new proposals, evaluating existing programs, and establishing the city budget. Council members are the representatives of the community, and that requires being a good listener, and not just a good listener, but someone who can actively listen to voices that have different backgrounds and different views. Therefore, it is also critical that a council member have the ability to work with a collaborative spirit. In seeking solutions that accommodate as many voices in the community as possible, a council member should also be comfortable with the creative approaches to common problems. And this comes from research and content areas, as well as partnerships with diverse experts and neighboring municipalities. The ability to see all of these threads and pull them together in an opinion and participation in decision-making is a skill that I'm excited to have the opportunity to fulfill.
Thank you so much. And our second question will start this time with Ms. Khan. What are 2 or 3 major issues that need to be addressed by the Mukilteo City Council? Ms. Khan.
Public safety, building strong neighborhood, more sidewalks, and neighborhood block watch groups is one of my goals. Car tap fees, the second one is, I know the struggle for each dollar the family make, and I stand against the increase in car tap fees. I will work to make Mukilteo an affordable place to live, work, and enjoy the life. And the third thing is, I would also work with the city staff to identify and attract small businesses that would be interested and qualified for city contracts. I'm seeking the privilege of public office to be a fresh voice to elevate the community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now we'll go to Mr. Stoltz, if you'd come off mute and answer the question.
Yes, it's the people living here who should matter the most. So the major issues that need to be addressed by the council are those that can have the biggest impact on our quality of life. And of course, public safety is always at the top of the list. But combined with that, I would say that the combination of traffic and parking management, pedestrian safety issues, including traffic calming and safe waterfront access, are one of the issues that are important to me. I'd also like to work with Snohomish County to implement a voluntary nighttime curfew at Payne Field, like there is in Burbank, California, another regional airport. And also resurrect the Mukilteo Park and Ride Plus project, which was originally planned to be placed on Bernie Weber Drive. It was awarded a $3.2 million grant several years ago, but ended up not happening. I'm very familiar with what happened because I wrote the initial transportation mobility grant application working with Snohomish County while on the council.
Thank you so much. And next we go to Dr. Ryan. What are 2 or 3 issues that need to be addressed by the Mukilteo City Council?
Thank you. One of the ones, I'm one of the founders of Mukilteo Moms, which is a Facebook group serving the moms here in Mukilteo. And one of the favorite topics of conversation is the waterfront and the waterfront development. As you saw when I initially signed in, I am in the cannabis industry and policymaking. And It's always exciting to dream of what is possible. And so I'm excited to participate in seeking the input of our community and what it is that we would like to see in the development of Old Town, while still making sure that we're maintaining the charm that brought us all to Mukilteo here in the first place. Additionally, I'll echo everyone else, traffic and safety. I live right off of the boulevard, or excuse me, right off of the speedway, and I have 4 children that catch the bus in the morning. And so in particular, traffic calming for ferry traffic is of great importance to me. We also have heard a lot from community members about crosswalks and walkability. So providing opportunities for more sidewalks and walkability here in Mukilteo.
Thank you very much. And finally, on this question, Mr. Jordahl.
Yes. There's 2 points I'd like to address. One's the waterfront, and then the housing action plan. The housing action plan's a talked about issue in Mukilteo right now, and it makes a number of recommendations for modifying land use and building codes in Mukilteo, some of which I think are really make good sense, like allowing cottage houses to have a variety of architecture styles instead of just one, and also regulating short-term rentals like Airbnbs. But there's some other recommendations in there that I think kind of take us in the wrong direction. And one of those regards annexation. It's interesting, they say that, well, if you annex some adjacent land with a bunch of apartments, that it increases the housing density in Mukilteo, and that's one way of achieving that goal. And I just think that's the wrong reason to consider annexing somebody, since that doesn't really benefit the residents of those apartments or the residents of Mukilteo now. So, for that reason, I just think that doesn't make sense. Another issue then that I think where we have a great opportunity is to improve the waterfront area in downtown now that the ferry has been moved.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry, your time's up. So now we'll move to our 3rd question, and the order for this question will be Mr. Stoltz, Dr. Ryan, Mr. Jordahl, and Ms. Khan. So starting with you, Mr. Stoltz, what qualifications and experience make you a strong candidate?
Well, I've previously served 2 terms on the council, and I did have a record of getting things done. I've lived in Mukilteo for the past 38 years and in Old Town near the waterfront for the past 17. As mentioned previously, I wrote the original Mukilteo Park and Ride Plus grant application working with Snohomish County. So I know the pitfalls that are involved in trying to get some of these things done. I have a very strong aviation background, and so I understand the challenges and community impacts that having, the potential of 24/7 passenger flights coming into and out of Payne Field can have. So I do understand what's necessary to work with Snohomish County, the owner of the airport, to implement a voluntary nighttime curfew policy. I've got a degree in aeronautical engineering. I'm a pilot, a previous Boeing noise staff engineer, and I've been the flight operations director at local aviation events.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Dr. Ryan, same question for you. Qualifications and experience. Please come off mute.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I don't think I'm alone in acknowledging that when you're a working mom, traditional career paths can be hard to come by. However, one thing that ties all of mine together is a desire to serve the community, whatever it is that I am a part of. My experience includes a doctorate in arts education with a robust education policy footprint, program development, and standards-based curriculum creation. I have also worked in the medical field as the CEO of a practice and office manager, where I saw up close from a provider's perspective the challenges with patient access. I also now have been a part of the cannabis industry since the ballot measure passed, I-502, and I'm currently the interim executive director of the Cannabis Alliance, where we focus on the development of this brand new industry here in Washington State, and now conversation has expanded to the country. But finally, the most important part of my resume is being a mom to my 4 kiddos. CEO of our family our size has been an ever-evolving, always deeply rewarding center of my life.
Thank you very much. And Mr. Jordahl, qualifications and experience.
Yeah, I think that my best qualifications, my ability to listen and synthesize information and then turn that into a plan. And kind of my experience doing that comes from the business world, where about 20 years ago, I started a company in Mukilteo in a technology area. and built it into a successful company. And one of the key kind of success factors that I brought to building the company is to listening to our customers and what their needs are. And I think you do the same thing as a part of a city council, where your customers are the citizens of the town. And as anyone knows who's built an organization, you don't do it by yourself. It's a team effort, and you do it by having strong relationships and building trust in each other and working together as a team. That's it.
Thank you very much. And finally to you, Ms. Khan.
Got 2 master's degrees, MA and Phil, and currently working at Mukilteo School District as a substitute teacher. As a long-term 10-year resident in Mukilteo and 22 years in the United States, I have usually worked behind the scenes. I have organized, hosted, and helped empower women as well as local small business owners to succeed by connecting the people to each other. Organizing an annual International Women's Day where we honor women and promote them and their businesses while recognizing their accomplishments for their outstanding work in our community has been a blessing to me. Having worked for the community for years, I have created an enormous impact on several projects, helping community people, refugee families with daily necessities. Additionally, during the pandemic, my friends and family, we distributed thousands and thousands of masks and food, and we wrote and made a special card for the seniors too. Being an immigrant and being in an immigrant shoes, I understand the struggle one has to face with a passion to become the voice of the unheard and a strong zest to give back to the community what this.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now we're at our 4th and final question, and you'll have 90 seconds to answer this question. And the order will be for this: Dr. Ryan, Mr. Jordahl, Ms. Khan, and Mr. Stoltz. And the question is, what have we neglected to ask that you would like to bring to our attention? Dr. Ryan.
I would like to start with addressing my current career path, and that is that I work in the cannabis industry. I know a few folks have I've been asked the question a few times if this means that I'm running for city council to put cannabis in every home here in Mukilteo, and that is certainly not the case. It has very little to do with my choice to serve this community in a leadership role in this way, other than it has given me an experience that I believe is really unique. I've been on the front rows, or I've had a front row seat here to the development of this new industry, which has played out primarily in local municipalities. I've been working in the most highly regulated industry in the country since its inception, and I believe I have a unique perspective on community development as a result of my work these last 7 years. I have experienced navigating challenging conversations between neighbors over a divisive topic, and I'm not afraid to approach those differences with courage and kindness. And I think that this approach and this technique, coupled with my background of experience, is exactly what we all need in this country, but specifically locally right now at this time. And I thank you for the opportunity to talk about that.
Thank you very much. Mr. Jordahl, to you.
Yeah. One thing I think that would be it's important to ask is, what else does Mukilteo need? And I think that there are a couple things. One, I think that we could really benefit from having a nice senior center. Edmonds has recently built one down by the ferry in Edmonds, which is really nice. And I used to think of a senior center as a place where old people go, and it's really different in that they took the word senior out of senior center and have really turned it into a community center. But if you're a senior, you get have a membership and you get a good deal on lunch, and it's the kind of place that you would want to bring your kids or grandkids. And so it really becomes a family gathering place. Also, they have some kind of light medical services they offer there at a good price for people. So I think that an addition like that could be a great thing for Mukilteo. Also, I know that we recently have seen evidence of of people that are without housing in Mukilteo. And there were some people up by Chase Bank recently. There was a guy, and I really want to make sure that we have a plan in place to address that, because I'm afraid that we're going to see more of that. And these people need help and compassion, but we also have to have firm rules to make sure that that we don't become a place that people come and camp. And so those are two additional things I think we should consider.
Thank you very much. Ms. Khan, what have we neglected to ask that you would like to bring to our attention?
Yeah, we are so focused in dealing with the direct public health consequences of the COVID-19 that we most neglected the bill on longer listing crisis, which is mental health. The mass trauma of COVID-19 has made its way to the rising levels of anxiety and depression, both in young and old generation. I think that the social isolation and the loneliness and the sadness of the situation, combined with the economic hardship that more and more people are facing, has created enormous distress and mental health challenges that our city is going to need to address. And especially the immigrant people, when they all over come here, I feel like Mukilteo is more welcoming now. So I think I can be a bridge, or I can say a kind of a communication, like a connector to the city and to these residents who are struggling to become something here in the United States. And United States has given me a more, so I wanted to give back to this, to United States, to the community. And I have a passion to work. The seniors are comfortable with me in my community. My kids, I have 3 kids, they are comfortable with me. They call me Auntie Candy Aunt. One of my name is Candy Aunt. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And finally, Mr. Stoltz.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to bring up some of the things in the history of Mukilteo. As long as I've been here, we have a lot of activity at the waterfront, a lot of development and plans that have occurred, and not all of them have gone quite as we had expected. And we have lost a lot in the arts, and the art building was lost, and as well as the artists that were part of that. And we used to have a lot of activities and social events in Mukilteo. And of course, COVID kind of put a halt to that, but trying to restore that and get back to kind of where we were in a sense of community, I think is really important. And it's really on the city to embrace the residents and create more opportunities for the residents to provide feedback, and for us to listen better to their concerns than what has occurred recently, in my opinion. So I'm hoping that we can, work smarter as a council, as a city, embrace our residents a lot more, and move forward in a really positive manner. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you to all the candidates for paying attention to the time limits, staying within them, and giving us much to think about. This concludes our forum. A recording of the forum will be available on the League of Women Voters of Snohomish County website and on our YouTube channel, and will be aired on KSER 90.7 FM. You can find the full schedule of candidate forums at LWVSnoho.org. We encourage you to explore additional information about these candidates and all candidates. The Snohomish County voter pamphlet will be mailed to residences starting July 14th. Primary election ballots will be mailed on July 15th, and Election Day is August 3rd. Please vote. Again, thank you all for joining us.